and family, because I promise you this particular conversation is going to be so amazing. So I'm so excited for us to get started, family. Looking forward to us continuing to have a conversation. Let's go. Hello, hello. How are you today?
Hello. I am well. Grand Rising. How are you?
Grand Rising. I am so
Awesome.
excited. When I tell you
Awesome. It's
this,
good to be here.
yes, it is so great for you to be here. I
It's
have
good
been
to
waiting
be
for
here.
this. Hmm. It is so amazing for us to finally have a conversation. It's been such fulfilling, the last month, and just for us to have this conversation and engage in this, a topic moving ahead. And definitely, I knew that you were going to have some structure and definitely some amazing keys for us to understand for a mindset shift when it comes to having great focus. Please tell us about yourself and tell us a little bit about how you are doing these great things in the year 2024.
Awesome. Awesome. Can you hear me good? Can you hear me good?
I can hear you now. I believe
You
there
can
was a
hear me
little
good?
bit of delay.
Okay.
Yes. Can you tell
Hopefully I'm
us a
not
little bit
frozen.
about yourself? Can you hear us?
Yeah,
I
it's a
can
little
hear you.
delay. No problem.
Okay.
Sure. Okay, awesome. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Monique Lisa Johnson. I am a writer, director, and producer of stage, film, and books. I'm a 45-time nominated playwright and a 26-time awarded writer. I thought about the idea of starting Storytelling in 3D Academy because so many times when I was asked to read a book, I realized that people were creating characters that were flat. And even if it was autobiographical, they didn't really know how to tell their story in a way where just as human beings we're three-dimensional in terms of who we are. We're not flat, we're not one-dimensional, we're not two-dimensional, we're three-dimensional and more. And so I just decided to take my expertise over the 30 plus years and apply that to an academy where I could focus on helping people to write. So this has been a great journey. I really started to hone in on it in 2020 since everybody was home, not necessarily twiddling their thumbs, but everybody was home. So I said, you know what, this is a time for me to really focus on helping people to write their stories, because as I'm reading the stories, I just, for me, I want to get engrossed. I want to get lost in the story. And I found that as I was reading books for people and giving my feedback, that they were lacking in certain areas, which is really just to fully develop who this character is, what this book is about. And so that's how the Storytelling in 3D Academy came about. And actually, my husband gave me that idea. He said, "Babe, you're writing in three dimensions." He was like, "I wouldn't call it this name, I'd call it that name." And so I was like, okay. And it worked out because when you think about storytelling in 3D, you think about children's books, you think about autobiographies and where they should start. And then you also think about the type of people who are reading it. And so, what do they want to read? They want to read characters that are fully developed. So that's where it came from. Yes. Great question. Hopefully, I answered it in
Absolutely.
full.
You did. You answered it absolutely exceptionally well. I really appreciate that. And I know the studio audience appreciate it too. Just really definitely to do great things, move forward ahead. And I believe when you transition and began to do those things, it really does really touch each and every one of us, because we want to do the very same thing. We really appreciate you so much. That was an amazing answer. Thank you so much. I want to definitely go ahead into the comment
Thanks.
section, because you have a lot of people here for us. That's Queen Monique. And I call her Queen Family. If you didn't know, she is truly a queen. We have amazing guests. We have Queen Wise, who's Jay Mullane. He's here. We have also Queen Bella. Her name is Linda Riggy. The family here, she is here. She's truly championing right here, because she's definitely want to make sure she is here to definitely to give us amazing knowledge and moving forward ahead. We're looking forward to these questions, Queen Monique. So we would love to go to the next question. Definitely, let's go to the next question. So,
Sure.
as
Let's
an
go. Want to
aspiring
shout out to
authors, let
King
us know.
Wise?
Oh yes, please go ahead and shout out. He's down there. He's saying, "Hey,
Yeah,
Queen
shout out to King
Monique and
Wise,
Queen
Queen
Lekeisha."
Bella. Shout out.
Mhm.
Want to shout out my family, my peeps.
I know
Yes,
that's
yes. So
right.
I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead. Next question.
No, you are fine, but we're a tribe. Everyone, definitely in the Confused and Focused Talks with Lekeisha family, they want to know you. And definitely, we have a family that are connected with us together, and we ride with each other and we support each other. So that's what this is happening right
Absolutely.
now, family. We are truly family. So I'm so excited. We can go ahead into the next question, Queen Monique. Definitely, like I said, you know, um, in when it comes to being a writer, how does it feel for inspired writers to write, and how do you feel about motivating them for them to continue on your initiative moving forward ahead?
I love that question. You're asking me, how do I help inspire authors and writers and their books, and what motivated me to get start this initiative? So, for me, I started writing at a very, very early age. I had no structure. I had no coach. There was no one to say this is the way you do it. But over time, I fell in love with words, and in falling in love with words, I began to hear words like music, and so that motivated me to help other people when the opportunities presented themselves. I think the first time someone asked me to help them, I probably was in like junior high school. The first time someone said, "Oh, I'm working on something. Can you help me?" And then I just started to kind of pour into them what I knew. Now, again, I didn't go to school for this. This wasn't something that I trained for. I just fell in love with stories and structure. And when I look at a word, I also hear like a music note. As strange as that sounds, words are like music to me. So when you read something to me, it's like a well put together orchestra if it is orchestrated correctly. If something is missing, like if there's, the protagonist is not dealing with some heavy issues with the, antagonist, if a mother-daughter relationship doesn't have the highs and the lows and the strains, like there's just different things that have to happen. And so I felt like if I could help people, and if I could motivate people to tell their stories in a way where they're using the three dimensions that we're made up of, and if they're using the techniques that just started to come naturally to me, and then I began to read even more about it, I knew that I could help them to tell stories that would become indelible. And an indelible mark is something that once it's left on you, it doesn't leave, it doesn't move. So I really just had that idea that if I could do that, this initiative would take people and their stories a lot further. So I just fell in love with words, and that helped me to want to motivate other people to also write amazing stories. Yeah. Yep, yep, yep.
I truly love that. I truly love that. I believe we all can begin to grasp how to be an amazing writer by taking that, one day at a time. Just start it off with one word and build from it. And I believe we pretty much we are encouraged to continue on. So I really appreciate that. That's truly amazing. Wow. I definitely love the comments in the room chat as well too. Everyone is definitely chiming in on what you just said. So we appreciate you so much. So the next question is, in your experience, what are some common mindset challenges that people face when trying to achieve lasting focus?
Great, great question. And the reason why I say that's a great question is because we have our outer focus. Those are the things that people see. They see what we're working on, they see what we're doing, but then we have our inner focus, the struggles, the battles, the whatever. For some people, it's addiction, some people, it's lack of focus. And when you're fighting for what's happening on the outside and you're fighting against what's happening on the inside, you have to either find that middle ground or find help to find that middle ground. I love the way Shonda Rhimes said it. And the way she said it was that if I'm winning these awards and I'm doing everything I can to make sure that these stories that I tell through my movies and through my books are great, I'm losing somewhere. And that means that she's losing time with her children. So we're winning on one place and we're losing on another. And that just means that we can't do everything. So if we want to focus on our focus, we have to understand that something is going to fall to the wayside. Something is going to not get done. That's like the busy mom who works and has children. While she's cooking and cleaning, if there were emails that she needed to check, that's going to be neglected. If she's playing with the kids, that maybe that meal will be neglected, and that means that she's going to have to do Uber Eats or something like that. So the people who try to do everything, they're they understand something is going to fall through the cracks. So when we talk about mindset, for me, the biggest challenge I think that people face with mindset is trying to do it all. And when you try to do it all, it's very hard to focus on the things that you feel are important right now. So yeah, I remember, winning, being in South Carolina, a couple of years ago, being in South Carolina and being nominated for 12 awards. And I was so super excited that night. I was nominated for 12 awards. I walked away with 6 of the awards. But when I realized that when I got back home, I had to do something, and it was like I had the inability to do it. Like I could not focus on this one thing. I still was on the high of winning the awards, but I could not bring myself to the place to get this very important thing done. So we just have to prioritize and just know we're not going to win in every area, and you're not going to win all the time. But if you can find and create that mindset where it's like, this is what I'm focused on, so let me put these other things aside and not feel like I'm falling apart, not feel like I can't get it done. No, you're going to win on the right side, and then you might lose or miss out on something on the left side. Just know that your mind has to say, today these are the things that I need to do that are important, and I have to put these things aside because I can't do it all. And then tomorrow, the things that I put aside, I'm going to focus on those things, and I have to put something aside. I think this whole mindset of grinding and pushing and all, it makes people, it allows them to become overwhelmed, because then they feel like they're a failure. You could do all these amazing, great things and then feel like a failure because your mindset and your focus has not told you you can do one. You may have a list of 10 things. You can do 1 through 5 today, and then you're going to have to do 6 through 10 tomorrow. Don't try to do it all. If you focus, you definitely will. So you gotta find that balance. Facing your fears, facing your just your desires, facing all those things and deciding this is important today, and then I'll put priority on these other things on another day. And that will help you to stay focused, because you won't be trying to be Superman and Superwoman. So I hope that answers the question.
Absolutely. That definitely answers the question. And, honestly, we talked about that before. We talked about self-care and just having boundaries. And when you actually have that boundary set in place, you're actually able to maneuver to get to the next task that you want to do. If that means put into the side today everything that you couldn't accomplish, it doesn't mean that you're a loser. It just means that you couldn't do it today. But you got next day to go ahead and move forward ahead, right? That's just truly amazing. I really appreciate that. I believe all of us really got some amazing tools when it comes to that. That's truly
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, I really appreciate
it's
that.
important. Yeah, it's very important for us to know that Rome wasn't built in a day. And if we give ourselves a decent amount of things to focus on that we know we can get done, and we don't overwhelm ourselves with this list of 100 things, knowing you're only going to get 2 done, if that, we'll be able to focus on the thing that we put before us. So for sure, for sure.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to let you know, King Wise said, hey, great advice, 24 karat gold bars.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Amen. Awesome.
Well,
Awesome.
this is amazing. I'm loving it. So we're going to go ahead into the next question. Definitely, this has been such an amazing experience, family. Let us know if you have any more questions, family. You already know you can put it in the room chat for Queen Monique Lisa Johnson. Wow, wow, wow. So the next question is, are there any specific projects and initiatives that you are currently working on to further empower and uplift others?
Good one, good one. Well, working with you, finishing your book, working with King Wise, and so many other people who are in the midst of finishing their book. And I think that when we write our books, we are helping the community. When we put our books out there, we really are helping our community. We're finding our tribe, and we're helping our community, because the information that we're sharing is something that helped us. I always tell people, if you're going to write a children's book, for the most part, you want it to be something that educates them, teaches them something, and uplifts them, but also entertains them. And so you're now putting something out there that can entertain the children all over the world, not just your community, but all over the world. And our books are something that can go places that we may never be able to go. So to me, that is empowering our community, that is contributing to our community, that is putting our life out there as an example of things that can help other people. If you've gone through something and you're willing to share that with people, and you're willing to be open, you are helping people in the community. There's lots of things happening, and you want to be a part of the conversations. You want to make sure that, hey, there's a book club. I have a book. I need to offer this to see if this is something that the book club would like to read. So I think when we kind of hoard our gifts and our talents to ourselves, then we are robbing the community of the richness and of the goodness and of the great things that God has given us. So I say, put it out there. That's the resilience of empowerment. I mean, that's how you do it. You offer what you have. God said to Moses, "What's in your hand?" And he had a staff. Moses used that staff to part the Red Sea. He used the staff to strike the rock and give them water. And he also was able to go up against Pharaoh's, the what do they call it? I guess Pharaoh had these, I call them warlocks, but they were supposed to be the ones who were advising him. And when his staff ate their staff, or when his staff turned to a snake and then ate their snakes, he literally was still using what God put in his hand, which was the staff. So use what's in your hand, put it in the community, and that's how you are able to empower and uplift and be a vital part of the community by contributing. So that's how you do it. And you have another part to the question that says, how do you envision achieving this through your work? As I coach people, that's how I'm doing it, because as I coach you, you're now putting your information, your book, and your speaking opportunities out there so that the community can benefit from it. So um, I never envisioned myself as a writing coach, as a playwright, and as a filmmaker, and as a writer. I never envisioned myself as a writing coach, but I always love to empower people. So I think that it kind of just happened organically and naturally. So yeah, that's how it happened.
I like you saying that. I truly like you saying that. You know how you said, I didn't envision this happening here. I just feel like, but it just came naturally, and
Yeah,
just, it's just
yeah.
amazing how when we love something and, when you've been doing it just anyways, just effortlessly,
Mhm.
it became a part of your life, you know.
Yeah,
That's truly
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. I think for me, if there's anything I can do to help the next person, I feel like it's my responsibility. Now, there are those people who do not contribute anything, but they'll be first in line to take what you have. But I think that we all have something to give, and whether it's your intellect, whether it's your innovation, whether no matter what it is, we all have something to give and contribute to the world. And so when you're willing to give it, I think you see an increase, and that increase is just the beauty of seeing people being helped. I think that's huge, 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 huge. Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Honestly, just being in that position, you're willing to give. You're able to able to receive so much more. Honestly, I just really appreciate that, Queen Monique. And then you have so many comments. Everyone else is just really championing you. I'm going to put it up at the top. You got King Y says, "What is in your hand?" Word. Absolutely. I
Hmm.
totally resonate with that as well. My. I love it. So we're going to go ahead to the next question. I believe this is a great, vital question, and I believe you can relate. How many people feel stuck and confused in their lives? A lot, right? What is some
Hmm.
advice that you would like to give them in feeling stuck and who are struggling to break free from being stuck, from confusion, and want to gain clarity?
Wow. Well, that is good. That is good stuff. Well, first of all, I got to tell them to get your book. That's the first thing. I got to tell them to get Lekeisha Mosley's book,
Mhm.
because it's How to Get Unstuck, Confused to Focus. I think the first thing we have to identify is what is making us feel stuck. Like, what are we saying? What are we doing? Who are we around? What are we, what activities are we participating in? What is making us feel stuck? Is it our job? Is it a relationship? Is it just bad decisions? What is it that's making us feel stuck? Is if you can identify what's making you feel stuck, then you can start to have conversations with people that are around you to kind of see, are you the only one, or are there other people stuck in the same way? Because there might be someone who has the answer. Someone might say, hey, well, maybe you need therapy. Maybe you need to pray. Maybe you need to be around people, like maybe a support group. So I think that anytime you feel stuck, you got to identify. I know for me, when I was thinking about writing one of my award-winning plays, when I was thinking about writing it, I felt stuck in the cycle of helping people with their stage productions and not finishing the ones that I knew I could work on. So I was stuck for a long time. I dare say 20 years of not ever putting my stuff first, not ever, doing what I needed to do in order to get it done. So I had to get myself unstuck. I love the way Lisa Nichols said it. She said I had to be my own rescue. So I had to be my own advice. I had to take my own advice, which was to sit down, figure out what this story is going to be, write the story, produce the story, make sure I have a budget for it. And then after I did that, then I had to make sure that I started doing the casting for it. So I allowed myself to be in this cycle of, okay, this person needs me, that person needs me. And it's okay. But what happens is no one ever circles back and say, what do you need? You're never on the list. You're the last on the totem pole. So if you feel stuck, if you feel confused, if you feel like you can't move forward, you got to identify what is making you feel stuck. For me, it was just being busy, helping everyone. And we can use that as an excuse, but God is always going to ask you, what did I put in your hand? Go right back to that. What did I put in your hand? What did I tell you to do? And what is the gift that I've given you? And what are the talents that I have encouraged you to use? And so when I identified for me personally that I wasn't just sitting down and writing what I needed to write, it took me 9 weeks to write a production that I probably should have wrote 20 years earlier. And that same production is the same one that sold out the Apollo Theater 5 times, 4 times in the same year, and also garnered me 45 nominations in those 26 awards. So sometimes we're holding ourselves up from the blessings and the things that we want to see come to fruition based on the gifts and talents that we have. And, it's easy to hide behind people. It's very easy to hide behind, different things that we can use an excuse. If you look for an excuse, you're going to find it. If you look for an excuse, you're going to find it. And I know personally for me, I had to remove all excuses. When you remove the excuses, now you have to deal with the core issue. What is the core issue? I wasn't taking the time out to do the thing that I knew to do. So what should have taken me a year, usually takes about a year, what should have taken me about a year, I didn't work on or focus on for 20 years. Like I was just doing everybody's productions, even working on Samuel E. Wright, who was the original Mufasa from Lion King, and he's the original crab from the original Little Mermaid, Sebastian. I was working on his project, and I still didn't realize that the time that it took me to work on someone else's project, I either should have simultaneously been working on my own or just completely shut it down. And I remember one of my coaches said that she turned down every speaking opportunity that came her way while she was developing her course because she knew that if she was distracted by doing other things, she wasn't going to finish. So it took her 2 years to make about $1 million from her course. And now, 5.5 going on 6 years later, she's in excess of 20 million. But had she stayed focused on everybody else's stuff, would she be where she is now? And so I had to take heed to that thinking where it's like I'm focused on everybody else's stuff and then I can't complain that my stuff isn't getting done. You know why? Because I'm not focused on it. I'm not focused on it. So I would say, if you're struggling and you feel like you need to break free, you need to figure out exactly what it is that you're struggling with and where are you stuck. And a lot of times people will keep you distracted with what they're doing, knowing that it's not the thing that you need to be doing. And then also, it's not, there's nothing wrong with having a job, but a job usually is an opportunity for someone else to pay you to forget about your dreams. So your 9 to 5 should support your 5 to 9. And some people don't realize that, so it's okay. But don't forget, we are creative people, and we don't ever want to feel stuck. We don't ever want to feel unfocused. We don't ever want to feel confused. We want to be laser focused. And that's only going to come with putting time into doing something that is specifically for what you are called to do. So if you know you're doing what you're called to do, you will be distracted, but you don't want to be stopped or stumped. So I hope that answers your question.
That absolutely answered
Definitely.
my question. I know the studio audience, it did answer you guys' question. I'm telling you, that's some great tools that we all need to learn, right? Just to be able to utilize, the moments in locations, just as a temporary location, especially if it's not your dream and you're calling what you're supposed to be in. Because if you're not going for that, it's almost like you're gonna be stuck, in the quicksand, because you're not getting out. You're gonna be stuck there, and unfortunately you might be there for a lifetime. Oh my goodness, Quima, you might be there for a lifetime, and
Yeah.
you don't know how
Yeah.
to get yourself
Yeah.
out, right?
You just said something very key. I just lost my father-in-law. He was 95 years old, and I was reading something today, and it said that most people only live for 10 years, and they just keep repeating it 9 more times. Like they stop living at a certain point, but they just keep repeating that 10-year process. And I heard that most people die at 21 but get buried at 65. It's like you cannot think about all of the things you didn't do. You got to focus on the things that you are doing and you can do. And a lot of times that being stuck is because it's in our head, it's in our minds. We think, oh, we're too old, we're too tall, we're too skinny, we're too fat, we're too black, we're too white, we're too green, we give ourselves these excuses. And I'm telling you the truth. If you look for an excuse, you'll find it. If you think you can and you think you can't, you're right. So you gotta be the advocate for yourself and say, no, I gotta do this. And my motivating factor has always been, I love this picture, it stays on my desk, but my motivating factor has always been these two right here. They've always been my motivating factor. I always keep pictures of my kids and my husband on the desk, which is a reminder that I can't afford to get stuck. No matter how I can cry, I can scream, I can yell, I can fall out, I can't afford to get stuck. I have to allow myself to feel the emotion, push through it, and do it. And it's not easy. But listen, I rather fight trying to accomplish the right thing than sit back on my laurels and do nothing. So it's real important. I keep my motivation right in front of me. And when I feel like I'm failing and I feel like I'm falling and failing at the same time, I look at their picture and I go, not today. Not today. Oh no, we ain't doing that. We are not quitting. I quit a gazillion times. I quit every five, and then I look at and God is like, "Girl, get up and stop playing." Okay, stop playing. Talk about you, the queen of house of creativity. Get up and stop fooling yourself. You gotta talk to yourself. Talk yourself off the ledge. You gotta make sure that you have the right people around you, because man, enemy can be busy, but we gotta be busier. We gotta be busier. We have to know. You know, gotta know.
You are absolutely
Yeah,
right on that one. You got to keep knowing. I tell you, I have to do that same thing. Having three young kings that, I know they're watching me. They're watching me all the time. They're like,
all
okay,
the
so what are you
time.
doing today? It's like, okay, you still doing that? You still gonna go to that event, right? You're still gonna do that? And I'm like, yeah, I'm still going. I'm still going. You're tired. And like, think about that. And honestly, that is my background, definitely how you have, the background conversations in my head. It's like I need to definitely continue to move forward, even if I'm tired. I shed
Yes.
tears. Oh, I cry,
Yes.
but they're
Oh
in my
yeah.
background,
Listen,
you know?
that Cry Me a River song ain't no joke.
Yeah.
Cry Me a River, because and I love when they put the little tiny violin up. It's like, yeah, I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I don't want you to think that, it's over, it's done. It's never over, it's never done. but I do have feelings. I can't be led by my feelings to the point where I get nothing done, but cry through it, jump through it, hop through it, roll through it, stop, drop, and roll. I don't care, but get it done. Get it done, and find somebody that can be your cheerleader. Find somebody that's like, you got this, you got this, because a lot of people don't have that. They are the cheerleader, so there is no one to cheer them on. So definitely, yeah, yep.
Absolutely. You need that inner circle, right? They need that champion circle that's going to tell you definitely grow and win. So you definitely need your inner circle. You definitely need those people that are going to let you know that you can do this, you can persevere. Because honestly, jumping is hard. Honestly, because especially when you don't know the next step, everything's going to work out, but you don't know it's not going to work in your time in the way you want, right? But you're like, I need somebody to cheer me up. And they're always
Hmm.
watching you because they've already been, inducted into the inner circle. And they're like, hey, how you doing in that goal? You doing good? I know you writing that book. Are you on the next page? You know what I'm saying? To coach me, tell me that I'm doing to do everything that's good,
Hmm.
working myself out. I need your support, when you do those things. So I appreciate that. Oh my goodness. You have so many
Yeah,
people in the room chat
yeah,
champion.
and you want people
What
who are
else,
going to
Queen
tell
Wise?
you the truth.
Yeah. Tell me the
Yeah.
truth. In love.
Oh, awesome! I see Queen Val is there. Hey, Queen Val.
Yes,
Queen,
I was going to
yeah,
bring them
tell yeah
up
tell
to the
you tell
top.
you the truth because I think. Oh, I see her comment. Hey, Queen, she's doing a great job. She's working diligently on her book as well, and I just know that there's so many people who are going to be able to pick up her book, pick up your book, pick up Wise's book, and so many others, and run with it because sometimes you're that missing piece to that puzzle. There's nothing worse than finishing a 1,000-piece puzzle and there's that one piece you're missing, and it's because someone didn't do what they were supposed to do. That is the most hurtful thing because listen, I'll throw the whole puzzle away. I'm like, listen, I am not going to sit here looking at that one piece missing. So you could be that one piece for someone. So definitely do what you got to do and enjoy it, be positive. The times where you don't feel positive, you don't feel like getting it done, kind of stay to yourself, give yourself that little pep talk. Don't go out there being negative and acting up and acting crazy because you having a day. No, keep that stuff to yourself. I think I would have fallen out if I was back in Jesus' time and he was having a bad day and he was walking around just turning tables over for no reason. I would be like, Jesus, you needed to stay home today. You didn't need to come out here because we can't handle that. Sometimes you just need that person who's stable in your corner that's going to say, you could get this done. Dry your tears, wipe your nose, stop playing, let's do this thing. And then you have to now reciprocate that for them because strong people need to be checked on too. Trust me when I say that. They need to be checked on. Yeah. This is good though. This is good. I gotta see everybody in the house.
Oh yeah, they're all champion. I'm gonna bring their comments up. We have King Wise. He's saying Queen Monique is my business coach too. Yes, she is fire.
That's right. That's right. That's right. He's representing for the young men, the millennials,
Mhm.
and the Gen Xers. There are baby boomers that will definitely be able to identify with his book, but he is creating this roadmap and this guide for young people to say, listen, it does not matter what it is that they say about you. And that's why I love Les Brown because they labeled him and he ran with that label. And then one of his teachers said, don't ever answer to something that you don't believe is a part of who you are. And so he's representing the young men, and his book is for everyone. But I think the young men specifically, because the whole setting of school, having young boys sit down all day. No, they've been given this energy for a reason. And when you try to have them sit down all day and then you label them when they're just doing what they've been, born to do, which is to move. We have so many muscles and bones in our body. We were designed to move. We were never designed to sit like this all day. That's just not the way it's supposed to be. So you don't want to label your kids. I do remember when my son was younger, the teacher in a nice way was saying that she thought he needed Ritalin. She couldn't say it because it's against the law, but what she was really saying is that he doesn't sit all day, like the other kids. And I said, he's not like the other kids. What he's doing is he's moving. As a matter of fact, after that, when I realized that it was not going to be a safe space for him, and I didn't want his self esteem to go down, the next 9 years I homeschooled him and his sister because I said, no, they came here for a unique purpose. And it's not to sit here in this prison style classroom in a line, answering to bells, walking in a line, sitting in the cabinet. No, that's not why they were brought here for greatness, greatness. And if they're going to just be average, yeah, they could stay here. But that's not what they were groomed for. They were groomed for greatness. Now, if they decide to do something else, that's on them. But my job and my responsibility is to groom them for greatness. So they've traveled everywhere. My kids have been to Sweden, to Norway, to Paris, to Honduras. They've been all over the country and outside of the U.S. And that's because they were groomed for greatness. And sometimes you just need someone to believe in you so that you can stay focused and you can do away with the confusion of all the noise in your ear. I know King Wise, if he had that opportunity to have someone that was just like, listen, you can get this done, and sat with him every single day, he wouldn't have gone through what he went through. Me, I dealt with the bullying. I lived in a neighborhood in a school district where there was a lot of bullying. So I learned how to be an introvert, which I'm not an introvert, but I learned how because I didn't want to be bullied. And as strong as I was as a little girl, dancer, part of the hip hop culture and everything, God would just not let me seek revenge on people who were trying to come for me. And he was like, nope, you got a purpose too. Nope, I'm not going to let you have revenge. I'm not going to let you get back on them. And so, I just look at my life and I look at the life of the people that were around me growing up. And it's like, yes, those of us who understood, even at that early age, that we had a purpose, that we had a calling, that there was something unique and special about us, we're still we're still on that path. We're still doing things. But the people who were just like living life like it was golden to the point where they didn't do anything to help themselves, they still on that same street corner singing that same old doo-wop song when doo-wop is not, ain't nobody doo-wopping right now when they're still out there doo-wopping and, trying to rap at like 75 years old. They got throwing up gang signs and stuff. No, if you do not know who you are, you will just be subjected to anything. So, yeah, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I see Golden Kish is there. How are you? Awesome.
Yes,
Awesome.
Golden
We got
Fish
some.
is commenting up high. Want to make sure her comment up top. Say hello to you. She
Hello,
appreciates
hello,
you.
hello. Thanks for joining us. Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
These are some great questions. Thank you so
Oh
much.
yeah.
Why
As King
supposed to
Wise, he
stop playing?
said, "Get up and stop playing."
He knows I got a million sayings. I really do. I have a million sayings. But so funny because Queen Lakeisha, I was thinking about this morning. I was saying that the battles that we face, inner and outer battles, um, the decision of what's going to win out is totally up to us. It is totally up to us. What thought is going to win out over the next thought? What words are we going to say that we should or shouldn't say? What activities or deeds or things are we going to do that maybe are not as important as the things that we know we should do? And so it's all about a choice. Confusion, I don't want to say confusion is just a choice, but if you're confused, how long can you stay in that place? And how long can you delay being able to find focus? So it's all in the choices that we make. If you know you have issues in a certain area, you can belabor it. I'm sure I'm belaboring things. I'm sure there's things where I can grow and be better, and I might be holding on to those things just because it's comfortable. And I think being comfortable can be the enemy to our own greatness. And so we have to think about that. I know for me, Delano, listen, Delano, he says, he was like, babe, how come you don't tell me this? How come you don't tell me this when I'm saying stuff, but you tell everybody else, oh yeah, he got, I said, because that's probably one thing that I have to work it out in fear and trembling, but yeah, you want to be around people that are going to help you to stay focused, and you have to reciprocate that as well. You have to be able to put yourself in a position to help, and because there are people who come with their hand out all the time. Their hand, as soon as you see them, they come around the corner. You see their hand before you see anything else. Their hand is out. So we got to be able to help each other. We got to be able to help each other and focus on what's important. So yeah. I don't want to take over. You, if you got more questions, come on, bring it on, bring it on. I got my special curly hair today. Yeah, baby.
Oh, yes. I
I
love
got my,
it.
yeah, yeah. She washed. She all the way
Oh,
out here,
yeah.
but the listen, the shrinkage is real. So yeah, like,
I love it.
but she got to come out someday. So like, yeah, she got to come out. Yeah, I didn't even know my hair was so curly. Living with those relaxers and perms, Jesus help us. But yeah, yeah. I didn't want to take over. Go ahead. What's your next question?
No,
What's your next
you
question?
listen. I love this, Queen Monique. When I tell you, you are true and truly amazing, and definitely letting us know a lot of tools that for us to continue to thrive. When it comes for us to be resilient in this life, and honestly, just everything
Mhm.
about you has been truly amazing, and we just appreciate the knowledge and information for us to continue to be resilient and for us to definitely withstand, in the year 2024. Honestly, we just appreciate you. We have King Jahan here with us as well. Everyone's coming in to receive the wisdom, and we just appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jahan. Hello, hello. We got to bring you up.
No,
We see it right here.
hey
Oh
Jayhan.
gosh,
I love the
absolutely.
community. I love the community that we
Hmm.
have, and I was just thinking, you know, uh, there's times when we just really need to have a book like yours, Lakeisha. Sometimes we just really need to pick something up and read it. And I think reading every single day is important. And I've neglected reading outside of my clients' books. I've neglected that. And I just went back. Hey, Queen Val, I just went back to reading again. And what I find is that something really hit hard the other day, and it's one of my virtual mentors. He said, if you're not making $50,000 a month, turn your TV off or throw it away. And that hit hard. He said that we are trained to be consumers and not producers, and that's why we won't read. I'm a filmmaker, so I love to watch film, but I really thought about that. So if I'm not making between 50 and 100,000 with all of the gifts and the talents that I have, I don't have any right to watch television, because all I'm doing is now watching someone else's dream. And for people who don't know, a 14-year-old created the concept of television, and he didn't do that by reading. He did that by actually studying. So if we're not reading, yeah, we are going to get confused. If we're not writing, or if we're not focused on the thing that we're supposed to be building, we are going to be confused. So that really, I want to share that because that was really something that I needed to continue to say. Like, I don't need to be watching television every night. I don't need to be listening to the radio or on social media all the time, because he said if you're not making 50,000 or more a month, not a year, a month, he said you don't need to be entertaining yourself, because it's just training you to be a consumer and not a producer. I just wanted to share that because I constantly tell myself that. There are shows that I want to watch, but I don't binge. If it's the holiday and we want to watch some superhero movies, that's one thing. But we should be reading every day. If you're an aspiring author, you should be reading and writing every single day. You should be having conversations with people about what you're writing and involve them in the process early. So definitely. If you're not making 50K or more, and I know what it's like to make 50K in a day. I know what that's like. So I have no excuse. I'm without excuse. So yeah.
This is amazing. Honestly, this is what we needed. We needed this. And you need that coach, because mind you, you're my coach. So I need that person to tell me the truth, tell me those things that's going to be able to get me to the next level. Because this is what we're asking. We're asking for this. Hey, how can I create
Mhm.
this? How can I actually move forward in this? Okay, well, there's some things that you're gonna have to do that you may not like to do, but you got choice. But you can choose this way, or you can
Mhm.
choose to keep the television on. It's like, okay, let me throw this television out because I got things to do. So that just means
Exactly.
much, right? Oh gosh.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's all about what we're feeding our minds, because remember the old saying, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Well, it's a terrible thing to waste, especially if we're just focused on entertainment. It's like, oh, I've worked a long long day for someone else, and now I want to entertain myself with someone else's product. So no, turn it off, plug it out, turn it around, cover it up, and get in those books. I love Dr. George C. Frazier. He reads, I think, 50 to 100 books a year. And look at where he is. Look at all the knowledge that he has. Look at all the things that he's saying. And I love to read. I literally have no less than 25, 30 books on my desk. Underneath my desk, I've got about 40, 40, 50 books. I love to read. But what I found lately is that after reading you guys, manuscripts and books, I might want to retreat in front of the television. But that was a nice reminder. No, I need to read. I need to expand my mind with information that's going to help me to get to that next level of where I want to be. If you want to be in the same place year after year, that's you. But I know there's more, and that more doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to railroad me from where I want to go. No, this just gives me a wider and broader perspective of what it is that I want to do and where this information can come from. I love to read, but I found lately, past couple of months, I wasn't reading as much. So now I'm back on it. I went to bed after working on a project, and I read just before, and that information is still fresh in my mind. So read, 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 read. And you know what they say, if you want to hide something from people of color, put it in a book. And all the information is out there that we need to succeed. So read, read, read.
That is
Definitely.
an amazing tip. That's truly the nuggets that we need to hear, family. Definitely Queen Monique Lisa Johnson is truly dropping 24 karat gold bars, as our friend, amazing friend Wise always says, honestly, to get those nuggets and tips for us to continue to move forward. Queen Monique, you have to let us know how we can keep this going with you, because already know you got to come back to the Confused and Focus Talks with Lekeisha. But please let us know about
Back.
everything about you. How can we connect with you? And please let us know, definitely, how we support you in all of your endeavors.
Awesome. Well, if you want to connect on Instagram, I believe the comments are pinned at the Monique Lisa on Instagram, and Monique Lisa Johnson on Facebook. LinkedIn, the same thing, Monique Lisa Johnson. And also, I shared some clips with you, Lakeisha, in terms of like storytelling in 3D Academy. Those links are there because you want to talk about changing the world. You want to talk about moving people. You want to talk about having a seat at the table or building your own. You got to empower yourself with your story. You got to empower others with who you are. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. I'm looking. It's so funny because I'm looking at opportunities to really give even more exposure to the authors that I'm working with, and having amazing people around that have already written books. I mean, there was, it's so funny. I'm looking for that book now. There was a billionaire at the conference last year. You remember, at Power Networking Conference, which is now the Power Networking Experience and Expo. But there was a billionaire who wrote a book, and he gave me a copy, and he was talking to me about it. And I'm thinking to myself, he did not write something that was autobiographical. He wrote something that was more of a fictional novel. And so think about it. This is someone who just killed it in the real estate game, and now he's doing something that he loves, which is to write a fictional book. You just never know where a book will take you, and you never know who's writing it. I never would have thought. I thought when he gave me the book that it was autobiographical. It was not. He was doing something that he probably thought about for a while and did it. Now he's in a position to do it. I mean, real estate mogul, two brothers, real estate moguls. So you don't know. Some people read for entertainment, some people read for education, some people write because they really want their stories to resonate with other people and help them. And you just know your purpose. Know your purpose and run with that. But reading is fundamental and reading is important. Importante. It is important. So gotta read, gotta read, gotta read. Yeah, and if there's anybody
Absolutely.
that yeah, there's a link there. So if there's anybody that wants to connect, the links are there. Hit me up on the social media platforms. There's some link for some of the courses, but it's there. It's there.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Queen Monique, thank you so much for coming to us on the Confused to Focus Toss with Lekeisha. Honestly, you have truly answered every last one of our questions for us to have great success and have great focus and definitely moving in the year of 2024. We really appreciate you. Just thank God for you and just thank God for everything that you're doing. We definitely want to champion you and everything and all of your endeavors. So we just appreciate everything about you. So thank you so much for coming on the show
Thank
today.
you.
I truly appreciate you as my writing coach, as my great friend and mentor. I just appreciate everything about you. God bless you.
Uh,
Look forward to seeing you
Thank
again.
you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Looking forward to connecting. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, family. That was Queen Monique Lisa Johnson. Definitely, we appreciate her for coming onto the show today. Oh my goodness, wasn't that amazing? Truly amazing value that we can all have and move forward in success. You know, it's all about for us to be able to definitely champion each other and definitely move forward in this amazing creation of the, and definitely make sure we actually have great success and definitely have a mindset of change and definitely focus. Don't stay confused. Always know you can be focused to move forward in your journey. And I'm just looking forward to connecting with each and every one of you. You already know. Definitely make sure you champion with me on my amazing website, LekeishaMosley.com. And definitely make sure you connect with me on my definitely connections on moving forward ahead on my Patreon and also on the social media streets. You already know that I'm airing there as well. And definitely all the courses that I have and all the connections that I have as well. Definitely want to make sure to connect there. And you already know I have my amazing t-shirt. It's the latest t-shirt. It is called So Rockstar because each and every one of you are so rockstar family. And I really appreciate you for us to connect with each other when it comes to those amazing gifts and my t-shirts. Definitely make sure you let me know your sizes and definitely let me know exactly what you're doing moving forward ahead and all what you're doing in this journey. Thank you so much for coming here. You already know this particular show is airing on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each week, and I look forward to connect with each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being so brilliant. Thank you so much for championing me, and I appreciate you for being here. Be blessed, everyone, and definitely make sure you connect with us next week. Have a great day.